We've said from day one we didn't want to fill up the podcast with adverts, and we're not about to do that. However, podcasts do cost money to make, and thanks to our friends at Viking Covers, we're able to cover some of those. Their values are the same as ours, they're car enthusiasts, and they've got a real quality product we think you might be interested in. If you're looking for indoor or outdoor car covers for your vehicle, please go check them out at vikingcovers.co.uk. Now, over to the show.
Never ever judge anybody because somebody can always do something that you can't. Always. You know, on the back of the seat, you had those beads. Have you ever seen those? My dad would always be in a pickup truck. I think they liked it because it was big. So we get a ham and cheese cob, sit in the lorry, come back, and I loved it.
Welcome to my dad's car. Enjoy!
Welcome to My Dad's Car, a podcast discussing our personal relationship with automotive nostalgia. And you know what? It doesn't even have to be about your dad's car. It can be your mum's, your grand's, your parents', guardians, or even a neighbour's. If it made an impression, let's talk about it.
Hello.
Hello.
You alright?
Yeah, that's bad.
Discovery.
I am in Discovery. You know what? I thought I'm going to sit in something interesting, and I got in the Honda Civic Shuttle from 1985 and thought, this isn't that comfy, you know. I'm going to just sit in a disco.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much for stepping up and joining us. Yeah, John's mum's not been too well, so he's been sort of back and forth from London down to Bognor to see her.
Yeah, that doesn't sound ideal, does it?
Hi, Emily.
Hello, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, sounds good.
Good. Firstly, thank you very much for having me. And I'm really excited. So yeah, in your hands now.
Cool. Okay, so we're joined today by Paul Harding from Super Duper Garage.
Hello.
Paul has been a previous guest. I can't remember what episode it was, but quite a while away now.
Yeah.
You listen quite religiously to all of them, which is very kind of you.
Yep.
You are our deputy interrogator or something, weren't you, for my 100th episode?
That was the one. Yeah.
So, yeah, sadly, John's got a bit of a family emergency, so Paul has kindly stepped up. And we're joined by Emily Wilson. I found you on Instagram, I think, interviewing your father, who is of the older generation. He's in his 80s, is that right?
Correct. So my dad was born in 1944, so he'll be 82 in December.
And he's got a car collection, which is pretty interesting. A lot of vintage stuff.
Yeah.
He's obviously not from a digital age.
No.
But you're kind of trying to get his stories across to, I suppose, a younger generation and just a wider audience.
Exactly that.
Which is, in a way, similar to what we do, really, on My Dad's Car. And I set this up as a bit of a homage to my dad. I lost my dad 9 years ago.
Okay.
So, yeah, just people sitting at home or kind of, being at home. And I think it's quite nice to shout out your parents quite often, especially if you're a parent, you get quite proud of what your children do.
Mm.
But when you get to kind of the age where you're doing that, you then forget to sort of look back and go, oh, my parents did really cool stuff.
Oh, yeah, I can totally see that.
And obviously, as a parent, it's quite nice when your kids are proud of what you're doing.
100%.
So this is kind of a chance for the kids to be proud. So
there's also a side that if you have in your own kids, because one of the reasons that I want to start doing some videos is so that my daughters can watch what I do, which you would have the same, that they can watch what you do and then watch what their granddad did.
100%. So I've got a little boy and he's 1.5 years old, and I haven't made him into cars or anything like that. He's just naturally saying cars about 1,000 times a day. Every time he sees one, he starts screaming. He wants to sit in every single car. He tried to get into a neighbour's car the other day.
Oh, no.
So it's obviously going through the bloodline, which I'm incredibly pleased about. But again, I haven't pushed that. That's just something he's already really into. And I think from day one, you know, having said my dad's got 3 daughters, we're all very, very different. That we're all brilliant in our own ways, but my dad would sometimes say I'm like the son that he never had because I share the interest with him and have since I was tiny. And I think you've either got it or you haven't, and it's that sort of deep rooted interest. But I think where, like you just said, it's so interesting is that it comes from my dad's dad.
Okay.
Then it came from my dad's dad to my dad. It's come through to me, and now it's going through to my son. And it's something that we'll always share as an interest together. So I love all things motoring, and I think it's a wonderful thing to do because not only are you driving a car or loving a car, but you also learn the mechanics of a car, how to work on one. So you're using different parts of your brain.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know how anybody could not be a petrol head, to be honest.
Yeah, beats me. Okay, we start all of these with kind of the same question. So, what's your earliest car memory?
Okay, so I've got a few different ones from different people, if that's all right.
Oh yeah, go for it.
One of my earliest memories with my nana, she's my mom's mom. Unfortunately, she died when I was about 10, but I have great clear memories of her. And she had sort of a 1990 Ford Fiesta 1.2 grey. But what I always found fascinating about her car was she had those, on the back of the seat, she had those beads. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, we spoke about this a lot, haven't we?
Yeah.
Have we? Yeah.
Yeah.
She had that. And I used to look at her and think, what on earth are you doing sitting on that uncomfortable thing? But she loved it. And she also had a cover on her steering wheel, which was like this furry thing to keep like her hands warm. But it looked god awful. But she loved that car. And we'd go into Leicester together, go to the bakery, drive back. So she used to drive me around a lot because I'd be with her, say, every Friday.
Okay.
So a lot of memories in that car. But I think on the other hand, very varied. My first memory of my mom driving me would be she had 2 or 3 BMW 7 Series cars in the 90s.
Oh wow.
Which were very smart cars, but I hated them. I absolutely hated them because I used to be sick as a dog because they were so low down. And as a kid, I'd have a little bumper seat and you'd see the window would be up here and I would just be sick every single time I got into that car. And also it was terrible in the winter. And one school run, she was driving me and the roads were completely frost over. And those Beamers had terrible brakes and the car sort of got away from her and we just sort of veered off. So I remember every time it was icy, we'd probably go in Dad's P100 pickup truck. He had a couple of those. So we'd take those out. He also had Toyota Hilux pickup trucks. So Dad had the pickups. Mom had the BMW. And so it was quite a contrast. But my dad would always be in a pickup truck.
Oh. There's some really interesting stuff there.
That's a big difference. There's a huge difference between a pickup truck and a 7 Series, especially back then as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, massively. I think it's because of my dad's job. My mum and dad did architectural heritage, was their business. So really big antiques, large pieces, sort of columns from Victoria Station, fireplaces from massive country estates, and they'd have a posh boy in London who could talk the talk and sell them to Ringo Starr, Prince Charles, King Charles now has some of their stuff.
Wow.
My dad would be the one finding it all on the back of his pickup truck in Liverpool, Glasgow, Manchester, you name it. And that was their business. So yeah, that's why the different vehicles, I suppose.
That's an interesting business as well, it is.
Yeah, fascinating business, which is why on my channel you'll see in the background of his workshop a lot of Victorian enamel signage, Victorian chemist shop fittings. I mean, all the good stuff he says he's had to sell to make a living, but now he's older and retired. He's kept some pieces, but the ones of real value he had to sell to make money.
Has he done the typical man thing of has he got lots stashed away? Racks and shelves and all sorts?
It's actually all on show in his workshop.
Okay.
So you can't see any actual wall of the workshop. It's just covered with enamel signage. And then the chemist shop fittings are in there. And he's got the Shell fuel pumps. They're beautiful. They're incredible. He's got 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, he had to sell them to places on German Street. You've got those amazing barbers and tailors. They would want all the, fittings for the shop. So that's where Dad would sort of sell them to.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Yeah, hence the 2 cars. Very, very stark contrast. But my dad as well he drives what he likes. He doesn't drive anything for what people think of him. He's one of the few people I've ever met in my life. I think Ozzy Osbourne was the other one. And I adore Ozzy Osbourne for the reason of they don't care what people think.
Mm.
They're nice people. My dad's kind to everybody, but if you don't like him, he isn't going to give it a second thought. He is totally himself. And I think that's why he's eccentric and why he drives the cars that he drives, because he doesn't care what people think of him.
You don't get people like that much anymore.
You don't.
No.
You can get the really flashy people who are only in cars because it's a Lamborghini or it's this, and they only buy that car because it's worth this much money and they want to show off to their mates, but they don't actually understand the car or they don't love the car.
No, they're not car people. No, they've got no interest. They'll tell you a paint code and that's it.
Exactly. And I think that's the problem, not for the people who are selling the cars, right? Because great, they're selling cars, but for the people who really understand cars, it's all about the love of it. It's not about how much it's worth or how much it could be worth. It's purely what you like.
I get that. Real true car enthusiast. I know so many people that have got some serious cars locked in a garage and their daily car will be a £1,500 Passat. That's just...
It's totally true. It's totally true.
Just because it's comfy, they like it, it's reliable.
Yeah.
I get moaned at all the time. I've got some nice stuff and I end up driving discos that cost me £3 or £4 grand and they blow up and everyone laughs at me.
Yeah.
So I can totally sympathise with it, but the disco's really useful.
No, the Disco's a quality car.
They're really good when they work.
But I love the Defenders. I love the 90s and the 110 Defenders. I think they're incredible.
Yeah, living with an old Defender is hard work. I'm not that committed to them.
Yeah.
But the middle of a Disco 3, Disco 4 is sweet spot of a car. You can put your family in it.
It's your happy place.
Yeah, you can put loads of stuff in it. It will tow well. They're just a good all-round car. Yes, they do blow up. I've blown up 3 of them so far. But other than that, they're really good.
Yeah.
Okay, let's ask you about the Beamer, I suppose. Was it your dad's choice that your mum drove a 7 Series? Because that's not the typical mum's car, is it?
I think they liked it because it was big.
Okay.
So 2 children, they didn't want a 4x4. You know, it's like one of the old big saloons, wasn't it? It had all the mod cons on it. They'd done quite well in business at that point. They'd come from nothing. Both of my parents came from absolutely nothing. And I think it was my mum's way of going, do you know what? I've worked really hard. I'm going to buy this car. And she absolutely loved it.
Okay.
But again, not in the winter.
Did you buy it new?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, your business is very successful then if you're buying that new then.
Yeah, they did very, very well. But, you know, my beginnings are I lived above their shop in Leicester city centre on High Cross Street, not a particularly nice area of Leicester. They had the antique shop downstairs and we lived in the flat above. My mom would tell me she'd have £3 in the pocket to get the groceries for the week. She worked full time. My dad worked full time and they had me.
Yeah.
My dad hasn't done anything without my mom working at the same rate as him. So I think she loved the car. She wanted it. They bought the car and she had 2 of them because she liked it so much. But yeah, since then, she hasn't actually had any cars that extravagant, shall I say?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was probably her one.
So obviously on your channel, you go through kind of your dad's collection and it's sort of, I think, ranges from 1920s, 1930s type stuff, isn't it? Generally speaking, it's sort of old, what we'd call old.
Yeah, so it starts pre-war, sort of 1925 Rolls Royce.
Okay.
About 3 Austin 7s. Then it goes 30s Alvis. Then it goes 50s Bentley R Type. Then it goes Austin Healey 3000. Then 70 would be the Jag E Type, 1970.
And some of those are kind of almost delivery mileage, aren't they? They're silly mileage.
Oh, they're all incredibly low mileage. And what really annoyed me is that when I put them on, people were like, you don't drive these cars. What a waste, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I just thought to myself, if only you knew, one, the mileage that my dad bought it for was even lower. Secondly, he's restored them all. And thirdly, without him restoring them, they probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So they all get driven.
And you can't drive everything.
You can't drive everything, but we do take them all out. We just rotate them.
Yeah.
So summer is our time of really driving the classics because weather and all that kind of thing. You know, we don't have windscreen wipers on some of them, so you're not going to drive it out in the winter.
No.
But we do take them out, and especially like the Bentley R Type and the Daimler, we take to picnics. We go to Prescott Hill Climb. We'll go every year, take a picnic, sit outside and have a lovely day out in it. And that's, you know, we enjoy doing that.
Has he owned them all a long time? Are some a recent purchase or?
Yeah, so if I go back a bit to when I was little, the oldest cars my dad had then were actually lorries. They weren't even cars. They were like a 1933 Foden. He had a Leyland. He had an Atkinson.
Okay.
And my first memories in those would be sitting in the middle on the engine. It would be like covered. And this thing would go, oh, I'm not joking, maximum 30, 35 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And we lived an hour from Leicester, but we'd go all that way to get a cob. So we get a ham and cheese cob, sit in the lorry, come back. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it because I just felt like people were so interested. I think there was only one of 8 in the world of that particular lorry at that time. And it was just like, wow, my dad's really cool. He's got something so different. We go on adventures in there. He'd always say, come on, Emma, we're going to Tipperary today. And I'd be like, oh, okay. I'd get in the lorry and Tipperary would be the little chef in Daventry. And that's what I thought Tipperary was till I got to 15 years old.
That's great. I like that.
Because he'd singing it, it's a long way to Tipperary. And I'd go, it's a long way to go. And then we get there and I'd go, oh, we're at Tipperary. And it was the little chef.
Brilliant.
But that was our adventures.
So am I right in thinking the commercial vehicles are from your grandfather? Is that right?
Sort of. So my grandfather and his brothers had a haulage business in Leicestershire called Wilson Brothers, and they got closed down, I think, just during the war or just after the war when they nationalised haulage, as it were, because it used to be private and then they nationalised it. And so that business ended. And my dad, you know, he grew up around those lorries and they all went, and he managed to find the Foden lorry that my granddad had driven.
Oh, wow. Okay.
My granddad died when my dad was 19, so a terrible age to lose a father. And he managed to find it much, much later in life. I think it was when my dad was in his 50s, he found the lorry that my granddad had driven, bought it and had it repainted in the sign writing that they had it in originally.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was quite amazing.
So what was the first kind of collector car you remember your dad having? Because if you grew up above the shop, this is pre him kind of doing well for himself.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm imagining he kind of just had, the pickup truck, didn't he? The P100.
Yeah, well, my dad was a second-hand car dealer to begin with, so that's why he knows cars inside and out, and he can work on any car.
Yeah.
But then he did the antiques. So not until, because he was working so hard, he didn't have the time to restore the classic. So he did that probably when he got to about his 60s. And I think, well, he bought the Jag E Type quite early on, but he didn't have to restore that. That's completely original. But I think probably one of the first ones would have been the Daimler.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1920s Daimler, which is a huge car. Absolutely massive car, because in the front you've got where the chauffeur would have been.
Yeah.
You've got the separation. In the back you've got the little telephone or intercom for the lady to talk to the driver, and on that side you've got perfume bottles.
How funny.
And then on the men's passenger side you've got a cigarette lighter and like tobacconist pieces on that side. So it's an amazing car. But that's when he would just be opening up the engine and fixing it. And I think what's so incredible is my dad bought a 1933 Alvis Vanden Plas body, I think about 4 years ago. It came in really bad nick. The engine wasn't even working. The body was completely rotten. And he's taken out all the parts. And I came to see him in his workshop and they're all in cardboard boxes, these parts. And they were completely rusty. The wiring on it, I was like, it looks like a rat's nest. It was horrendous. And then you blink, and 6 months later, he's rebuilt the whole car by himself and it's running.
Wow.
Impressive.
He's even rebuilt carburetors because he can't find one. So he's made his own carburetor. I mean, he's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
Yeah, what a wonder. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a dying art these days. Finding people that can do that sort of skill is unreal. And I hope he wears overalls with pens in the top and he's got a cup of tea in his left hand.
Yeah.
I'll be disappointed if he hasn't.
He is head to toe M&S, but head to toe with about 5,000 holes in his jumpers. Mum buys him clothes all the time. And he looks like he's been through a hedge backwards. I mean, he's the scruffiest man you'll ever meet in the world. I went out for a pub dinner with him the other night and I was like, Dad, come on, I'll take you out to the pub. Let's go down. And he was like, all right, I'm all right. So I pick him up and I take him, and he's still got on his blue latex glove that he's been working on all day in the engines. And I was like, Dad, can you take that off? It's like, we're having dinner. And he was like, I don't care. Why do you care? Why is that a problem? I'm like, but Dad, you look like a weirdo. Can you just take it off? But that's just how he is. I mean, he looks very, very scruffy, but I think that's why people, as well, there's something in that. When we go to car shows and car meets, I'm going on a tangent now, but I remember not long ago, my dad bought about a 2007 or 8 Bentley Continental.
Okay.
So he'd wanted one forever. It's his first ever, what you would call then, supercar. And he went and bought one. But he went to one Bentley dealership, dressed as he always dresses, in his flat cap with oil marks on it, with a cigarette on, in his M&S scruffy gear. And nobody came up to him. They ignored him pretty much, thinking, what's he doing in here? And then he thought, right, I'm not buying from you. And he had a friend who had a dealership in Leicester at Bentley at the time, and he went to him. But again, it's that thing of you just never, ever assume what somebody's got, or not even what they've got, what they're capable of, what skills somebody has. You just don't know. And you should never, ever judge anybody, because somebody can always do something that you can't. Always.
That always comes with age as well. If you've worked in sales, you learn as you get older. Years ago as an estate agent, and it taught me so much about people. So all the people that turned up in a supercar that thought they were flash, trying to pretend they're going to buy their house outright, all of them without fail needed a mortgage. They're only going to buy something up to about 700,000, probably a new build.
Yeah.
The guy that turns up in the Volvo with the M&S jumper on, he's the guy that says, I'd like something with a nice garden. What's your budget? As long as it's under 4 million, I'm all right. And you're like, oh, okay.
Exactly.
and you learn that, and you learn the people. A lot of car salespeople, they've never really been in that, and they've never really understood that. Some of the people I know that sell really high-end cars, sort of classics and supercars, they know that. They know that the youngster that turns up, he might be very successful in what he does and will buy the car. You just sense it out from a person, but so many people get it wrong.
So many people get it wrong. And that's why I've got an absolutely hilarious story that I want to just add to this, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
So, childhood memory. I went to boarding school when I was 16 because I wanted to go, right? All my friends had gone from junior school, prep school to boarding school, and I went to a local school, and I said, I want to go. All my mates are there. I want to live there. I want to have fun. So I went to boarding school, and as you can imagine, with my dad, he didn't fit the mold, right, of the other parents there. And I loved that because he's my dad. But when we turned up at school, as you can imagine, there's mommy, there with the black lab in the back, and all the girls are called Tilly or Millie, and Izzy, and everybody's like this, and like, come on, darling, get out the car, here's your luggage, see you in 6 months, sweetie, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And my dad rocks up outside on a Sunday night, all the cars are there, they're always either Volvo estates, or they'd have like Audi Q7s or something like that. They'd either be really wrecked cars, but they're incredibly posh, so they don't care what they drive, or they're quite flash. So I rock up with my dad, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm absolutely dying. What am I going to do? This is my first day, and people will have preconceptions about me because of the car that I'm in. I'm thinking, I just want to disappear. I want to disappear. Because you could hear it coming 5 minutes down the road before it arrived. Like, oh, okay, so I'm already nervous. My dad's car, and still today, what my dad's daily driver is a Dodge Ram.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Me and Andy were wrong here.
We were trying to second guess what he might drive, and it was not that.
We were really way out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't announced it yet on the channel because I cannot wait to ask people what they think it is, and then I'll reveal what it is. So the first one he bought was in 2005. It was all black, Laramie. I think it was 5 litre, I think. Anyway, he converted it to LPG because, as you can imagine, it was really juicy.
Yeah.
It had a chrome grille on it, big chrome alloys wheels, whatever you want to call it. It was the noisiest thing. It was completely blacked out, had 3 seats in the front, had like this turbo bass on it. I had to, because I'm only 5'4", so I had to hold on, put my foot up to step into the thing. It's also left-hand drive. He hasn't converted them. So I'm sat where people think I'm driving, and I feel like because it's so wide, I'm going to hit the person coming the other way. So we get to the school. As I said, all the yummy mummies are there. Izzy, Tilly, hello, darling, hello. And then I get out this car, and it is just silence. And everybody looks at me. I'm thinking, oh my God, this is horrendous. But then I thought, do you know what? I'm a bit different. And then everybody at school was saying, have you seen the new girl? Did you see what her dad drove? Oh my God, that's hilarious. This big American truck. I mean, oh my God. And in a weird way, I fitted in because I was a bit different and they thought that was quite interesting.
I can imagine the preconception of who they thought was going to get out the driver's side, like The Rock or someone like a big, massive, muscly dude, not a chap in his M&S.
Honestly, it was awful. I went to Sainsbury's with him in it. And again, all blacked out. We parked outside and there were these young lads, juveniles, sat outside, you know, smoking whatever, 14, 15. And the car rolls up, the truck rolls up, and they're like, oh my God, man, that is a sick car. Wow, look at that car, man, look at that car. I'm thinking, I don't want to get out. I don't want to get out. And anyway, Dad gets out with his flat cap and his slight limp. And they're like, oh, what you doing, man, driving that car? You are too old for that car, man. Oh, Granddad's car. Like, laughing their head off. And then I get out and they're like, oh, he's got a young girl ting going on. And I'm thinking, I'm his daughter. Please stop. Please, this is horrendous.
Is he smart enough to realise this? And would he sometimes pick you up in, I don't know, an E-Type or dig out something fancy? Or was he just didn't care, doing a job, picking you up from school?
No, he would only pick up what he wanted to drive that day.
Okay.
So if he fancied driving in the E-Type because the sun was out, he'd drive the E-Type. But if it's his daily driver, he's driving that and that's what you're going in and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because occasionally I think, well, I'll pick my daughter up in something nice. She doesn't care less. She's no interest in cars whatsoever. But just occasionally I think, oh, I'll drive something a bit nicer.
Oh, no.
No, you're not bothered. No.
Absolutely not. No.
Was there a moment when you clocked that he was more eccentric than other people's parents?
100%. And I think that's when I'd be invited around for tea at friends' houses. You know, when you start making friends at school and they say, oh, do you want to come to play with so-and-so around my house? And I'd go round for dinner and I'd sit round the table and the parents would be talking to the children. How was your day today, darling? What did, oh, very good, very good. Times table's fabulous. And how are you? Da, 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 da. And everybody's listening to each other. Everybody's very polite. There's no swearing. And I thought, God, these are such boring people. Christ, they're dull.
Okay.
Why is everybody listening and talking to each other? I thought it was really, really weird. I actually felt quite uncomfortable in those situations because at my house, not that one way's right and one way is wrong, but it very much felt like there was a lot of noise, a lot of shouting. Mom and Dad would argue a lot, but they'd laugh a huge amount. You know, my dad would sit at the end of the table with his knife and fork, banging it on the table, going, come on, Raina, where's my tea? And she'd go, oh, John, you know, rub off kind of thing. And that was the relationship. And then that's just how it was. And Libby and I, my sister, would be immersed in that environment. So, yeah, I knew quite early on that my parents weren't the norm. Also having a much older dad than my friends, I always loved that. And I loved it because I think with age comes experience, and everything he was doing and everything he's taught me from such a young age. I've been quite lucky because he's older. He's had, you know, that experience to share. I used to get really upset when people would say, oh, is your granddad picking you up? I'd go, no, it's my dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always been one of a kind. And I think I've always known that. But at the end of the day, he is still my dad, right? So my dad is what's normal to me, like your parents are what's normal to you. Other people can say, oh, they're unusual. I think, it's my dad. He's not unusual. It's just dad.
Yeah.
But I know the knowledge that he's got is staggering. And I also know he's very unique in the fact that he doesn't really care what people think. He's truly authentic. He's truly himself. He doesn't put on a show. He doesn't try and change who he is for anybody or anyone. And therefore, for a long time, I thought I need to start an Instagram channel with my dad about our love of cars together, because if he could just share 1% of what he knows about rebuilding an engine or the history of a car, that would be incredible to somebody who is either getting into it or wants to know about it. And I just sort of felt a bit selfish in a way that I had all this knowledge. I had all this, you know, ask questions and get the answer, and people would be digging for hours on the internet. Well, I just go and ask my dad. And so why not share that with people? And he was very hesitant to begin with, because it was like, I don't do social media, I don't do Bookface, I don't do YouTube and all of this. And I said, but Dad, it's all right because you don't leave the house. So it's not like you're going to get stopped in the street because you don't leave the house. He didn't even know in COVID that you had to queue up outside to go to the supermarket. I took him to Prague last year. He didn't know that you had to put your passport in a scanner. That was all new to him. It's like he lives under a little, it's like a little mole that comes out from time to time.
Your dad sounds like an 80s sitcom character. Just feels like you're describing a sitcom that you used to watch in 94 or something. It's exactly what he seems like. Seems like you get on very well with Del Boy.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And also a bit Faulty Towers type, like when things go wrong, I'm like, how is this happening?
Yeah.
So we had Christmas Day 2 years ago. We were sat in the front room. Mom had cooked a lovely meal, had the family round kind of thing. And we had a chimney fire in the front room. And it's because a bird's nest had fallen down the chimney fire. And it's a Georgian house. So the chimneys are quite big and also could cause a huge amount of damage, right? If that chimney starts really raring, the house is gone in seconds.
Yeah.
But a man who won't be told, right? So I'm like, Dad, we need to get out. We need to get out the house. Libby's on the phone to the fire people. 6 fire engines came out because we said chimney fire. I said, Dad, get out. It's going to go. And he's like, leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. And he's got his head up the chimney while it's roaring with a stick, poking it. Mom's screaming at him. Libby's crying in the corner, being like, he's going to die. He's also quite deaf, bless him. So when you shout at him, people would think you're being really rude, but it's because he can't hear. So you're like shouting. The fire engine team come in. They actually have to escort him out of the front room because he will not leave.
Oh, no.
He's like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, I'm like, Dad, these are experts. These are people that actually deal with it. Yeah, but I know. And then they did the reading, and they did the laser thing on the wall and they read the temperature and they said, if you hadn't rang us within 10 minutes, the house would have gone up.
Wow.
And he's there thinking he can solve it all, with a bit of, water and God knows what. But that's why it's always quite comicable, but also incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
I was definitely expecting you to say that he got a ladder out and he was on the roof of the hose pipe.
Wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. That probably would have been stage 2 had we let him. Yeah, 100%.
I like your daddy. Sounds funny.
He's very, very funny. A lot of people say that he reminds them of Fred Dibner. Do you remember Fred Dibner?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of vibe. So yeah, very, very funny. So happy to share him with everybody, to be honest. It's nice. It's really nice.
I think it's really nice. And I love doing this and telling people stories and sharing those stories and finding out it's history, but it's not kind of kings and queens history, but it's sort of social history that just everyone's got these really interesting stories that actually, if it wasn't for social media, we wouldn't be sharing them. And it's not that we're poking fun at someone because they're a little bit different. We're just celebrating the fact that he's lived such an amazing life.
Yeah.
And he's got all this knowledge and everyone's had all these different experiences. And yes, when you look back at things, you'd go, oh, there, they were driving this car and the wheel came off and we all have a chuckle about it, or whatever tape was stuck on repeat.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also nice for kind of others to listen in to go, oh, yeah, my childhood was like that, or so-and-so was like this.
Absolutely.
It stops them being forgotten.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I guess, yeah, what's the future for the channel? And I suppose what's the future for kind of the cars?
Yeah.
Because looking at it, it reminds me of a museum. It looks like it should be something that should be opened up as a museum. I don't know how feasible that is. But...
Well, it's not feasible because it's my dad's workshop. So it's where he lives. The first thing he did when he bought that house was build that workshop. And he lives in there.
Okay.
Hence the phone that goes to the house, ringing Mom for a bacon sandwich, which he rarely gets because sometimes he can be incredibly rude and she'll ignore him. But that's because of the antiques, right? The antique heritage, his old business. That's why people think it's a museum, because it looks like that in terms of like if you went to Bewley or what have you.
Is your mum a similar age, or is there quite an age gap?
No, there's an age gap. So my mum's about 12 or 13 years younger than my dad.
Okay.
So mom will be 70 next year.
Yeah.
So cut a long story short, the future of the channel. So all of this has been quite odd, actually, to be completely honest. So like I've just spoken to you about, I always knew that he was very interesting and I always knew that I should share this. But the first video I did, you've probably seen it. It's not professional. It's not polished. We don't know what we're doing. We still don't know what we're doing. And we just took a camera out. I put it online the morning after I woke up and it had something like 10,000 views in one night.
Wow.
I thought, gone on here has been like a bot, or like, has my account been hacked? But it was real. And I thought, oh, goodness me, I better continue with this, right?
Yeah.
Because if people are interested, let's do as much as we can. And so I've done that. And I think I've got nearly 40,000 followers in 3 weeks on Instagram.
Yeah, that's mad. When did you start?
3.5 weeks ago.
Yeah, well,
Have you got any history of kind of marketing or media or anything like that?
Never. I mean, I love that you've asked me that, Andy, because I am the most unpolished social media person you could ever come across.
Because that's my job, and yeah, you're killing it by the looks of things.
I'm going to say, how have you managed that? That's almost unheard of in the current climate. To get that amount in 3 weeks is crazy.
Well, I think it's because of him.
Yeah.
Genuinely. I think what people are saying is this is a breath of fresh air. This isn't polished. This isn't, you know, what's the word?
He's got some likeness to Clarkson in a way, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like, he tells it as it is, and yeah, he doesn't care.
Yeah, we love Jeremy Clarkson. So again, just saying it how it is. And I think people are so sick of sort of being thrown things at them at social media of buy this or do this or this is this and this is so polished and I'm so and so and watch me. It's just two real people, father and daughter, talking about what they love without any expectations of their audience. And we also just like to have a laugh, and we laugh every day, all day. And I think that's why it's just gone crazy, is because people are like, hold on a minute. This is a guy who's got a massive collection of cars. He's got a daughter who's interested in cars. And he's not what we think people with collections of cars are like. He's not well-spoken. He's not flash. So therefore, people are like, oh, this is a bit unusual. And so therefore, I think that's why people are interested, is because we're just real. We're just honest, real people.
It's what YouTube was 15 years ago.
Is it? Right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Before it became a business model,
Okay.
it used to just be an outlet that you would share your holiday, that so your family could see it. You would share a new car that you brought because you want your mates to see it. You would just share general things. Then it became more popular, and it's completely changed in the last 10 years. You're reverting back to normal stuff, which is what I think people will gravitate to, because it isn't polished, because you haven't got 3 cameramen and 2 editors running through the night to get it up the next day. You're not sitting there promoting 17 different products.
No.
So I think people will be pleased with that, and you will get people watch it because of that.
Yeah. And I think for a lot of people, it's a bit of an escapism.
Yeah.
You know, when people watch Dad and me, it's sort of like everybody's so serious nowadays, and we've got a lot going on in the world and a lot of pressure in everybody's lives, financial pressure, you know, work, being parents, you know, all these things that we're living in.
Yeah, they can relate to it.
And it's like, oh, this is a bit of normality, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can relate to it. It's at a level. I've said this a lot about a lot of YouTubers that I used to watch. I don't watch them anymore because they're so far out of my reach.
Oh, that's a shame.
That what they do, what they buy, how they live, I'm like, well, that's never going to be me. I'm never going to have 6 million quid to spend on a car.
No.
So I switch off.
Yeah.
But when they were lower down the tree, I found it really interesting. So it's good people can relate to you, for sure.
Thank you, Paul.
Yeah, I think the authenticity thing, the tricky thing is, I find it a little bit, obviously this is a hobby which is slightly out of control. But
it's an amazing hobby.
I think, yeah, you could probably pretty easily end up doing what you're doing full time, probably pretty quickly. Like, if people are watching what you're doing,
I agree.
If you've got probably 40, 50,000 followers on YouTube, you can make a living out of it.
Yeah.
But the problem is it could take the fun out of it. And then you've become a slave to the algorithm that you've got to then keep doing it.
It is hard.
Can imagine.
Because if you work it as a full-time business, it can be tough. It's good, but it can be tough.
All consuming.
Yeah, because you've got to keep producing. You get stuck in the machine and you've got to keep going and going. And most very successful YouTubers I know, they really enjoy it and are really grateful for what they do, but it's a lot. They're the hardest working people I know are YouTubers.
Yeah, well, it's like Tim Schmee. You know Tim Schmee?
Yeah.
So he went to my school. He's about 10 years older than me. But when I was looking at like my old school list of people, he was on there and I was like, oh my God, that's really interesting. But I know he's been doing it for a long, long time.
He is a machine. He
doesn't have a day off, does he?
Yeah, incredible.
It's fascinating to listen to.
Yeah, he's incredibly bright, incredibly knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Has dedicated his whole life to this and has reaped the rewards from something that he loves. And I think that's what people like, is he loves cars. He's not doing it because he's done well. He's accidentally done well. and continued with it. But it's not like he started off a big success, right?
No, but he's incredibly calculated. He studies every number.
Yeah.
So he knows what's what.
Yeah. But he's probably learnt that over time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
100%.
But I think with me, I'm in a completely different bracket to that. People love my channel because they love Dad, his knowledge. They love the relationship I have with my dad. They love that a girl is into cars. And not many girls are. I've seen a lot more coming through recently, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
But I go to Prescott Hill Climb every year, and out of 40 classic car drivers, there's probably 2 women. So I think that's a bit of a breath of fresh air for some people.
A lot of the new crop of female YouTubers and Instagram people aren't into cars. They just pretend they're into cars to get some follows. And yeah, they're hard work.
I know, and I hate that. I hate it.
Yeah.
I absolutely hate it. So for me, it runs in my blood. I had an MGB when I lived in London that I bought myself. I've had an Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite.
Yeah.
The MGB Roadster broke down on the side of the main road coming out of Hammersmith, the one that joins the M4 and the M25.
Yep.
So it broke down. And this is one where you have to pull the choke out and wait for ages, that kind of thing. So it broke down. And then what I realised is I'd actually got a flat tyre. But all these men who were quite kind stopped. All right, love, I'll give you a hand. Stand back. I can do this. Let me give you a hand. And I'm like, honestly, thank you so much, but I'm really okay. I think I can handle this. No, love, no, I'll do it. And I said, no, honestly, it'll be fine. And I just got the jack out, the spare wheel, changed the wheel, and off I went. But that's because of my dad. That's because my dad taught me.
Yeah.
When I had my first ever car, which was a Ford Fiesta 1.2, which was 15 years old. The registration plate that my dad bought me for my birthday was worth more than the car. But it was about, if you want a good car, Emily, you go out and work and you buy yourself a car. I ain't buying it for you. And that's always been in my blood, is if you want something, you work and you get it. So I had this car, and the first time I got my Ford Fiesta, which I was obsessed with because it's freedom, right? It's the ultimate freedom. You get your new car and you can go anywhere you want.
Was that your first car?
Yeah, it was a Ford Fiesta 1.2.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I absolutely loved it.
Did your dad do the classic dad thing back then? If you, especially you being a girl, go, right, I'll put a blanket in the back in case you break down. There's an orange flashing light. If you plug there's a jack. Here's a toolkit.
No, I wish.
I know so many people when I passed my test, loads of dads I know did that.
I know. That would be amazing if he did. My mum did that because my mum's always like, let's be safe here, John. She's like, oh, she'll be all right. She knows what she's doing. Let her go. And mum's like, absolutely not. But yeah, right. Here's the jacket. Here's this. Here's the light. Here's a little triangle that you put out in the road in case you break down. Here's your high vis.
Yeah, my parents did it to me.
Yeah.
You must always have a jacket with you. Yeah. In case you get cold.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But my dad just said, here's how you check the oil. Here's the dipstick. You wipe it like this. If you're low on oil, this is what you do. This is how to change your tyre. Come on, Emily. We'll change. And we changed 4 tyres. Did every single one. Took them off. Made me do it. Put it back on with the jack, with everything. And then that would just instilled in me a foundation of knowledge, which I think every single driver today should know the basics of the car, and they don't. And they end up in trouble because they can't get themselves out of sticky situation.
They don't know. They don't know anything at all. I had a discussion with my daughter literally yesterday. She's 11. When she passes her test, she will pass in a manual. There's no discussion of an automatic.
Oh, have to.
It will be a manual.
Of course.
And I said, because you won't be able to drive 95% of the things I own if you don't pass in a manual.
Exactly. And manuals are the joy of driving, right?
Yeah, but then this generation aren't interested.
Yeah.
What do you drive?
So I drive. Unfortunately, it's changed since I've become a mom. So my last car was an A35 AMG Mercedes, and I absolutely loved that car because it sounded incredible. I got an exhaust for my Christmas present from my husband, a better exhaust for it. I loved going round and hear, drop the gears down on the pedals and hear it pop, pop. Oh my God, I was one of those. I'm sorry to admit, I was one of those. The sound, the way it would go. And I get young lads who just passed the test in Vauxhall courses up my arse. And I'd think, no, I'm in my 30s. Get it together, Emily. Don't play this game. And then I'd find myself rushing to the next lights and they'd come up behind me and I think, oh no, okay, Emily, get a grip. You've got to get a grip on this. And then I became a mom, and I've now got a Jag F-Pace, the last one, that they made until they stopped, which is a great little 4x4.
Very disappointed.
I know, I'm sorry. It doesn't have the sound.
I feel you've let everyone down. I'm just gonna go now.
No, don't, please don't. But again, you have your daily drivers, right? But then you have your cars that you take out on the weekend. And like I said, the Frog Eye Sprite, the MGB Roadster, the Mercedes 280 SL, those are the ones.
Are they yours, are they?
The Mercedes is, yes. My dad loves to say to everybody that it's his car, but I found the car at the SL shop. Have you heard of the SL shop?
Yeah.
They're brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
So I was looking because I wanted to invest in a car. I had a little bit of money that I'd saved up, and I thought, right, what's best to do with this money? Put it into a car. And I found it. It's a 1980.
Yeah.
I found it at 16,000 miles from new.
Wow.
From the SL shop. That was a lot of money you had saved up, not a little bit. I could tell you that if it came from there.
Well, believe it or not, it's not as much as you think it would be. It's not the prices today.
Okay.
It's about half that, because I knew it was a good deal.
Okay.
This was about 14 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to have one then. I had two of them for my wedding. Yeah.
Amazing. So I saw it and I was like, right, Dad, what do you think of this? And he was like, yeah, looks good. Let's go and have a look. So I looked round it, and then I bought the car. And that's mine. And I actually share it with my sister, that one. So it's sort of a joint venture.
Fantastic.
Does he let you drive his cars?
I drive every single one.
Brilliant.
Oh, that's good. That's good. He lets you drive them, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, okay, so he's got a 1920s Rolls and a 1920s Daimler. You have to double the clutch. It's a completely different car to drive. It's so difficult to drive. And he's had to basically train me on how to drive those cars, because I want to keep driving them. When Rex is a bit older, I want to take him out like my dad took me out. And if nobody can drive them, what are we going to do with them?
Yeah.
So I drive them, and my mom can drive them as well. The other two sisters aren't as interested, unfortunately. They're into other things, but it's very, very important to me to get to really understand how the vehicle works, the mechanics of the vehicle. If there's a problem with it, how would I fix it? Because they will be passed on to my mom, and therefore they'll need looking after. And I'm not going to go and pay hundreds of pounds to somebody else to do it. I need to do it myself.
Bravo. So,
sorry, I've realised I've chatted an awful lot, and I don't know if I've really covered.
No, that's good.
That's the reason people tune in to hear us every week, and they want to hear from our guests, really.
I have one question. What does your dad drive? Has he still got the same Ram, or has he got something else?
He's got a 2015 Ram now. It's a red one.
See that? Me and Andy were much closer to your cars than his cars from our guesses. But I'm very impressed that's still what he drives now, because that's hard work, that is, to drive that, especially in current economy and on these roads. Driving that is...
Well, the LPG, don't forget.
Yeah, but about 3 garages in the world sell LPG now, because most of them have stopped doing it.
Luckily, there's one near him. But yeah, I know what you mean.
But even so, the width of it, the hassle of driving it, the left-hand drive, getting a ticket from a car park, anything,
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't strike me as he's going through drive-through McDonald's, but
No.
There's a dedication there.
But the reason why he loves it is because I say to him all the time, why do you like these cars so much? What is it about Dodge Rams that you like? Because you're not Kevin Costner in Yellowstone. So what is it? What's it doing for you? And he says, well, I wanted a truck with 5 seats, but also with the big trailer on the back, the back of it. And you can't find one for love nor money. You either get 2 seats and a back, or you get a big seat and a tiny back. And this has got both. So that's why I like it. And that's what he does. He got them, they come over from America. He said he can't be bothered to change them over because it goes wrong if you change from left to right or right to left, however way you do it.
Oh, it's a massive job.
It's a massive job. But yet again, when he drives them, they live in the middle of nowhere. So it's all country lanes. And when you're a kid, which I was, you're sat where the driver would be sat, and you're this far away from your dad. You got cars coming the other way, and you feel like you're over their way, and they're going, oh my God, they go like this. And you're sat there and they're swearing at you, and you're like, I'm not driving. It's him.
Love his dedication. That's so, because most people, when they get older, just go for even though they've got interesting stuff at home, they normally pick something a bit easier to drive day to day.
But he loves it.
And he hasn't done that at all.
He also thinks it's incredibly comfortable.
Yeah, probably it will be. Yeah, they are big and comfortable. Yeah.
It's high up, it's comfortable, you can see what's going on. I mean, I think because you are right, people like to have a bit more of like an easy drive when they get older, but my dad just likes what he likes.
But that's cool that he hasn't given up on it.
No, not at all. No, it's good. Very funny.
Yeah, I'd comment if I saw him get out. I would be, that's quite cool. I'm well impressed that he drives that. I like stuff like that. It always makes me smile. I will put on my social media later an E28 with an old couple that I saw yesterday morning by my daughter's school.
Amazing.
And they look comfortably in their 80s.
Yeah.
In their E20. And they've obviously had it for a long time.
I love that.
I love the fact they're still in it and they're still driving it. And that's just their car. There's a lady that lives down the road from me. She's got a classic Mini, blue with the Union Jack on it.
Oh, beautiful.
It's her daily car.
I love that.
Drives it every day.
Fantastic.
Yes, I love stuff like that. And your dad fits into that category. To be fair, I've always wanted to be, I always think, as I get older, I definitely want to be the eccentric weird bloke. The guy that's like got a random Ferrari that has never been washed or serviced in 15 years, but sits in the driveway and drives it every day. I've always thought, I'd like to be that guy.
I think, Paul, that is what you will be, right? Because you're a petrol head.
Probably, but then if you spoke to me 20 years ago, I would have said 100%. Now as I get older, I'm like, well, I would like something a bit comfier. I'm not quite at full modern. I am in older discos. I am at the level of going, I would like DAB, which to everybody else is normal.
Mm-hmm.
I would like Bluetooth that isn't plugged in through a dongle, that's actually integrated.
Listen, at least you haven't got a tape.
Yeah. Well, yeah, quite a few of them do. But yeah, I'm somewhere in the middle. But yeah, I fully admire that he's still rocking around in a Dodge Ram, because that is a
100%.
dedicated drive for anybody.
Yeah.
That is very impressive.
It is.
Cool. Thank you very much for joining us, Emily. I'm gonna watch all your stuff, and I think your dad's a legend. It's brilliant. I really love what you're doing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate Andy and Paul you having me on the show. I think it's so refreshing to have a podcast like this. It's absolutely brilliant, and I've already listened to loads of your episodes. I loved the Nick Whale one. I thought it was fantastic, and thank you so much for letting me talk about cars, which is the thing I love to talk about. I really appreciate it.
Interesting.
Thank you so much. Cheers, Emily.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. You got 2 minutes, Paul. We'll just do a quick summary.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm not rushed for time. That's fine. Yeah.
That was brilliant. I really like that.
Yeah, that sounds fascinating. I will go and watch some of it.
It's a great channel.
The dad sounds really interesting. He does sound like a sitcom character.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed that he stuck with the Dodge Ram in his 80s. That's dedication, because that's a hard thing to climb up into.
Yeah.
Everywhere you park, you're on the wrong side. To keep going with that at his age is mighty impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
And we were so wrong.
What did we have down? We thought at best maybe a Lexus or something, didn't we? I thought maybe a Range Rover.
I was 2016 Hyundai. I thought that's normally what your car collector that wants an easy life 10 years ago went out and bought a brand new Hyundai when they were cheaper, and they've just kept it ever since. So you said maybe something Jaguar.
Yeah, XJ6, I think.
But I reckon I could have guessed for a good 2 or 3 hours I wouldn't have got to Dodge Ram. No way. No, and not consecutive Dodge Rams either. That's not his first.
Not his first rodeo.
Yeah. So he's like, I like this. I'm going to get another one. Yeah, that's because they are massive as well.
They're huge.
Yeah.
I love the kind of rags to riches type story. So someone literally who's come from, nothing. And obviously he's really made his mark. The fact that actually, surprisingly, maybe I made too much of an assumption that her father chose the 7 Series, not her mum.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool that mum went out and went, actually, we're doing all right.
That's an expensive car.
I want a 7, not a 5. I want a 7 Series. I want a...
Yeah, and brand new.
Yeah.
New 7 Series. She walked into a dealer and brought a brand new 7 Series and lost 75% of its value the day she picked it up. Unbelievable. Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt, but I really wanted to know the spec because I'm sad. I was like,
of course you did.
What colour? Even if it was just the colour of the outside and the colour of the interior. And she had 2 of them. Did she go the same colour again?
Yeah.
I was just, or change it up a little bit. Yeah, I was intrigued by that.
You want dark green with tan, don't you, with that?
Yeah, that era, surely it was got to be I reckon dark blue or dark red with a tan interior, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was a lot of money to buy that.
I guess at that point, obviously, business was doing all right. And if you're
Yeah.
selling stuff to Prince Charles and Ringo Starr, then
Yeah, by the sound of it, he was in the antiques game before it was saturated.
yeah.
And he was going and finding all these wacky stuff because this is pre-internet.
Yeah.
So you can't just get yourself on eBay and buy yourself a replica sign. You need to know a man that knows a man, and he was clearly the man that went and got all the stuff. So
I guess a little bit like Drew Pritchard or whatever,
yeah,
but probably kind of almost predating him.
yeah,
But
yeah, very much so. Yeah, because I was also surprised. She said she wanted to go to boarding school. I've never met anyone that wanted to go to boarding school ever.
no.
I know people that have gone to boarding school, but they don't want to go. And even if they've been pushed to go, and when they get older, some people have said they're grateful that they went. But I've never met anyone that said they wanted to go. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, fascinating. Go watch the channel. I'll read it out actually, because then people can, if they've not done it already, go and check it out. It is EM Wilson's _cars. So M Wilson's Cars. And yeah, it's a great watch.
Is this? She said she's only been doing this for 3 weeks. Is the YouTube channel 3 weeks old as well?
She's got, so I'll give you a rundown on her numbers. She's got 37.9 thousand followers, so almost 38,000 followers. And
I don't get how she's done that. That's mental in this day and age.
And her first post on Instagram on that channel was the 1st of February.
That's meant she must have just hit an algorithm somehow. Absolutely spot on.
Her YouTube is, I think it's like 3,000 or 4,000 she's got on there. 3,000.
And how long ago? When was the first video?
2 weeks ago.
Jesus. That's crazy in this day and age.
Yeah, he's a brilliant character. But yeah, hats off to her. I think she's great on camera as well.
Yes, I can see that. Yeah.
So yeah, definitely we'll stay in touch with her. There's some people who we've had on and kind of between us we know, I think it'd be good to put her in touch with. And yeah, if we could steer her a little bit with what between us we've kind of learned of, I guess, the social media and the media space, then yeah, best of luck to her.
Yeah, I understand loads of it. I'm just truly rubbish at doing it myself. It's such a back to front thing.
It's a time thing, isn't it? It takes 3 times as long to film it, and then you've got to spend the same amount of time editing it.
Oh, it's insane.
And like, yeah, for every episode I record, I'm probably spending, this will be 10 hours editing.
Yeah, it's insane. Yeah, I just can't do it. And the temptation to just, like a couple of random things I've put on Instagram that I've just launched something that I have up. I'm just going to put it up and see. But I can't believe some of the things, like my thing I put on the discos the other day of me saying I've got 3 discos, I bought another one. It's got like 26,000 views on it. And I'm like, why are people watching me for 4 minutes say that I've got 4 broken discos? I was like, okay.
But we say in marketing, people buy from people, and it's the same on those channels. Again, your videos are funny, they're relatable, they're abusing. You're not talking about £1 million supercar.
No.
You're talking about a car that almost every man in the street could own.
Yeah.
And that's why it's relatable.
Yeah, I feel like I need to try and chuck something together to put on YouTube, because just to put on my Instagram is quite easy, and it kind of forced me, because for some reason I've got a fault with my Instagram. I can't post a picture like where you go on the feed.
Yeah.
I can post one picture now, but I can't do anything else. I can't do multi-picture, I can't do anything. Just crash the app. Every time it will crash the app.
Wow.
And I have to go to, but a reel, I can do that. It's no problem at all. It's weird. And that's what made me start putting some of the reels up, because I couldn't post anything else other than stories. And I was like, I like some of the stories, but they disappear, because sometimes I will go to friends' stories and go, and my mate will ask me something, and I go, hang on, go and look at this. And I go, it was a story, it's gone.
You can share your stories to like the highlights.
Yeah, I was posting lots of stuff on stories, and I still do, but then your general person then can't find them. They disappear. So yeah, but I feel like if she's done that in 2 to 3 weeks, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Wish her the best of success with it. And yeah, hopefully kind of more comes of it. She enjoys it. That's the main thing. Do it for fun, not for the promise of money. If money comes out of it, great. But yeah, do it for fun.
That's my pretense. That's why I want to do it, so my parents can watch it, because they don't watch anything social media. But if I gave them a YouTube link, they would sit and watch it, because they don't know what I do day to day. And half the people, and my daughter stuff, you know, she's convinced I don't really do anything.
Yeah.
She always talks to me, I've got to go to school and you can just sit and do what you want. I'm like, no, I don't even have time for lunch most of the time. But yes, that's why I'm like, I'd like to post things up. But it's, again, like you just said, it's the time doing it, isn't it? It's mental.
It is nice that, yeah, like my youngest, she'll go to school, and if it's Mufti Day, she wears a My Dad's Car t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
And like you see her in pictures, it's like, that's quite nice. She'll come downstairs in the morning. She's like, yeah, I'm ready. You're like, okay, you're gonna wear that. And then she'll pick up a My Dad's Car sticker and stick it on her hat.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, you've made yourself. And it's like, oh, that's really nice.
You're proud of what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, likewise with Emily, massively proud of her dad. So that's cool. Okay, I've got to go and do some work, but really enjoyed that.
Yeah, go do work. Yeah, I've got to do the same. Yeah.
Huge thank you for standing in. And yeah, I'll see you soon.
Brilliant. Thank you for asking me. Really appreciate it.
That's very mate. Bye-bye.
See you later. Cheers. Bye-bye.
Roll the credits.
Thank you for listening to My Dad's Car. I hope you enjoyed the show. Please support us. Buy us a coffee and subscribe. And tell all your friends.